Here we have the Ftr16s receiver, and as you can see, it's got two little red dots on it, one here and one here. This dot is for the manual update, and this is for the ground. Now these two points have to be shorted together, and the easy way that I found to do that is just solder a jumper wire between those 2 points. And just be careful when you're soldering, especially here. If you get any solder on one of these little spider legs from this ICP board right here, it won't work. Here's more easier to solder the jumper wire here, but still be careful there as well. So just solder a jumper across those 2 pins and short those pins out before you power it up. Okay, so we've soldered that up, and here you can see where I've got the jumper wire that's soldered closest to the little post on the antenna wire here, and then right in the center of the board you see the other one is soldered right there together. So we got our jumper wire all jumpered there together, and we're ready to go. So before we power it up though, you got to have a converter pack to go with it. So I have this S-Bus decoder pack, and how it's connected. This is the receiver wire coming from the receiver board, and it's actually plugged into the S-Bus port on the decoder. And for power, I'm just using just a electronic speed controller, and it's just connected into the decoder just to give it power. All right, so now we're ready to power it up. So get ready to power it up. Just flip your power switch on. And on the back side of this board, you'll see it flashing, alternating between green and red. That will tell you that you have the jumper wire soldered in the correct position, and that it is not crossed any other pins or pots on the board. If you should happen to make a mistake and touch one of the spider legs on the PC chip there, it's going to remain red, and you will not be able to do the upgrade. So this is the first thing that we're going to do. I've already upgraded my radio, and this is my PL18. I also have a PL18 EV, but this is the first one that I received here, so I've upgraded this one already. And now we're going to upgrade the firmware on this little Ftr16s receiver here. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to go into your radio setting, and forgive me for moving around. I'm trying to do this with 2 hands holding the camera. I don't have a big fancy recording device to do this with, so I'm going to attempt to do this the best I can. So you want to go into your basic setting, and then you'll go down to RX setting, and up here you're going to go to bind. So you want to make sure that you're in the classic 18 setting right there. We're not going to bind it yet, but you want to make sure you're in the classic 18 setting there. So you'll come back out, you go to custom port protocol, and since this is an S-Bus receiver, you got to make sure that you have your setting on your radio configured for S-Bus. So you just click the S-Bus. Once that's set, you will then come back out, and you will scroll down until you get to receiver update. You click on receiver update, and here, since we are doing the Ftr16s, you're going to highlight that on your radio, Ftr16s. And you see it's ready for update in the bottom here. So once that's all set up and configured, all you need to do is just hit your update button, and it's going to give you a little warning. Please connect your Ftr16s or enable it to enter the mandatory update mode. And we're over here, we are still flashing green alternating red. We are in the mandatory mode. So we are going to confirm that we are by clicking OK. And you see it's updating. And it says that the update is successful. So out of here, you can just exit back out of here. Scroll back down to your top. And this is where you would go to your buying setting over here. Okay, so now we're going to bind this. What you need to do next is, once you take the power off the receiver, you need to clip this little jumper wire right here. As you can see, I've already clipped the wire and we're ready to bind this receiver right now. So I'm going to turn the power back on and you see it flashing there. Then we go back up to the radio and we're in the buying setting. And again, we want to make sure that we're in the classic 18 mode, which we are. I apologize for one thing that I said there. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Clipping the wire is correct, and the power is off on the receiver now. So what you have to do now is bind this receiver in the traditional fashion as if it was just a regular receiver. So it's kind of hard to see on here, but there is a there's a little button right here. And you have to hold this button down while you turn the power on, and then press the bind button on the radio. Now, unfortunately, I don't have another set of hands to do this, but this is how you would bind this receiver, by holding this power button down and flipping the power switch on and then binding it to the radio. I'm going to attempt to bind this if my stylus don't slip off. Turn the power on and then my stylus slipped off. Well, we're going to try this again. So, got the button pressed down and we turn the power on and we get our light flashing. And it gives us a little warning. And just say okay.
Binding. Bind successful.
And you didn't see it happen, but you heard it say binding successful. So that's it. And I hope this helps out someone. And feel free to share your comments about this. If I could do anything different and make it a little bit easier, let me know.